Mr. Rockefeller's 38 letters to his son. First letter, taking the first step in life. Dear John, my dear son, my pride. As your 20th birthday approaches, I am sending you $20 along with the love of your mother and me. We are immensely proud of you, as your future and your life give us confidence. This confidence comes not only from us, but from all your friends and acquaintances. Such confidence is more valuable than all the wealth in the world. How time flies. It seems like just yesterday you were a baby, and today you are a vibrant young man. Therefore, you should cherish time and prepare yourself for the future. For the value of life does not lie in its length, but in how you make use of it. A person can live a long time yet gain nothing from life. Life's fulfillment does not depend on its length, but on one's will. John, the 4 years you spent at Brown University have brought about many changes in you. You have always been our pride, studying hard, being diligent, and persevering. You are fully qualified to be a member of the distinguished fraternity. Although I'm not good at expressing emotions directly, I believe you have deeply felt it through the letters I've written to you. What comforts your mother and me is that you don't smoke, drink, play cards, or go to dance halls, and you are very thrifty with money, strictly adhering to our family's good accounting habits. In this regard, you make me immensely proud compared to your peers. Speaking of which, I can't help but think of Hoyt's son, George. He is the same age as you, but extravagant and dissolute. Compared to him, you are almost flawless. However, unlike me, your confidence is still fragile and easily influenced by others' criticism. Though you may not be a scholar, you always strive to learn to avoid criticism. You have always been shy, but that does not prevent others from respecting you. You are becoming more sociable and confident. Since the moment you were born, you have brought us immense joy and pride, but now we are even more satisfied to have a son like you. Whenever we receive your letters, your mother and I feel joyful, with tears often welling up in our eyes. Your letters make us so happy and proud. In your last letter, you said that people often say sons will surpass their fathers, but if I could treat my fellow men with half the generosity, selflessness, and kindness that you do, I would not feel my life lacks meaning. Helping you is my primary responsibility and my joy, regardless of what role or profession I undertake. It seems you are ready to inherit my vast estate, which undoubtedly fills me with the greatest satisfaction. But I know you are troubled now, worrying all day about what specific career to pursue in the future. You are unsure if you are capable of taking on a managerial role. However, please believe me, this is a problem everyone encounters. Let me tell you about my job-seeking experience back then. At that time, I didn't have many options. As long as I could find a job, I would be satisfied. The day I found a job was undoubtedly one of the most important and greatest days of my life. I took the first step in life. Before that, I used to tell myself that although maritime trade was booming, the prospects of finding a job were bleak because no one wanted to hire a kid. Few people took this issue seriously with me. By then, I had visited all the companies in Cleveland, some of them even twice or thrice. But I believed that my perseverance and persistence would help me. When I walked into Hoyt and Tatel Company on Mountain Street, they were mainly engaged in the transportation agency of agricultural products, and I wanted to see their boss. I met one of the partners, Henry M. Tate, the second boss. Obviously, he had an impression of me, this young man who had been desperately looking for a job for 7 or 8 months. He said he needed someone to help him with the bookkeeping and asked me to come back after lunch. My heart was pounding so hard that it made me breathless, but I tried to control my emotions and walked out of his office calmly. I knew I would succeed today. I walked calmly around the corner of the stairs, then almost jumped home step by step. That day's lunch was a mess. After a bout of anxiety, I returned to that office, and Isaac Hoyt received me. I tried to control my trembling body and waited for him to arrive. I already knew that he had a lot of real estate in Cleveland and was also the founder of Cleveland Iron Mining Company. Sure enough, he came in with the air of a big businessman. He asked me a few questions, and I answered him honestly and earnestly. Later, he carefully examined my handwriting and said to the people around him, "Let this young man stay and give it a try." I knew I must have succeeded that day. The subsequent facts proved their need for me, or rather, for an assistant department employee. Because their company had a lot of new business to do, the original bookkeeper was unable to handle so much work, so they decided to hire me. They asked me to take off my coat and start working immediately, without even mentioning the salary. But I didn't mind because many boys couldn't even get a penny during their apprenticeship. I believed my intelligence would enable me to end my apprenticeship soon and receive the remuneration of a regular employee. So, I enthusiastically started my first job. On the way home after work, I began to pay attention to the people and things around me. I realized that for the past 6 weeks, I had been immersed in the world of job hunting, paying no attention to my surroundings at all. It turns out that everything in Cleveland has a high aesthetic value. I knew that this feeling stemmed from the enlightenment in my heart. I marked that day as my employment day, feeling that it was even more significant than my birthday. My real life truly began that day. I was reborn in business. Perhaps some people couldn't understand how I felt at that time, but now, my trembling hands and flushed cheeks tell me that this job is extraordinary for me. I found that the vitality that had been dormant in me began to awaken and poured into the business world, bringing about a robust and amazing life. I firmly believe that I have truly grown up. I will eventually break away from the constant struggle from one place to another, from the topsy-turvy world of that era. Sooner or later, I will announce to the world that here, in Cleveland, there will rise a successful man named Rockefeller. John, I also hope you are prepared to strive for a great career. You are about to enter a completely new world, an environment entirely different from the school you are in. I believe that you, my son, will continue to make me proud as always. There are countless paths in life, but at crucial moments, you cannot make a wrong step. Aristotle said that if each of us could live our lives again, then each of us would be immortal. But no one in this world can live again, so you must cherish every minute now. For you, there is still a long way to go in pursuing specific work, but you can try to plan your future career arrangements. Think about them in this long-term cycle. List the careers that attract you the most, and then consider other factors. I suggest you choose careers that have job opportunities everywhere, so that even if you have to change your workplace, you only need to bring your talents and skills with you. Let's narrow down your dreams to 2 or 3 career pursuits, discuss them carefully, and then visit their workplaces one by one. I believe among my many friends, there must be someone engaged in the career you choose, and they will be happy to provide any help. Before this letter ends, I want to tell you that this is the moment in your life to make serious decisions, but don't bear too much pressure because it is also the most exciting period. You can overcome all obstacles to become the person you want to be, take a temporary break, leave some time for reflection, and then let yourself be passionate.